Well, we're here at Bradgate Park and we are from the University of Leicester, from the School of Archaeology and Ancient History, and we're conducting a field school here to provide training in archaeology for the students from the University of Leicester who are studying archaeology, but also to try and find out much more about the history and heritage of this really important place for Leicestershire people. So what we know about Bradgate Park and Bradgate House in particular is mostly connected to the story of Lady Jane Grey during the Tudor period. But actually we've been conducting a series of excavations and surveys around the park over the last 3 years, and we've been finding out that the occupation of the park has been going on for 15,000 years. This year we've been conducting excavations inside Bradgate House. We've had 5 trenches open, and we're trying to work out what parts of the house were connected to the Tudor building when Lady Jane Grey was living here, what parts of the house are connected to the 17th century when the house gets reorganised, and then what relates in fact to the reconstruction of the house in the 1920s and the 1930s. And we've been finding this season lots of new information. We've got a really large stone building which you can just see just behind us that may predate Bradgate House or belong to the first phase of Bradgate House itself. So we've already got buildings and structures on the site that may relate to Lady Jane Grey's time at the house that are completely different from everything you see that's an upstanding structure. So that's been one of our major discoveries so far. We've also been finding occupation around and beneath the house that relates to much earlier times. Over underneath the brewery, for example, where we've been excavating, we have found some late Mesolithic flints. So these are flints that relate to hunter-gatherers who are coming to Bradgate Park maybe around 8,000 years ago, 9,000 years ago, and are hunting wild animals in and around the park. And this is a really unique site for the whole of the area, so we're really very fortunate to find that. And again, it fills a really important gap in our history of Bradgate Park. We've got our earliest Ice Age hunters over on Little Matlock Gorge from about 15,000 years ago. We've now got Mesolithic hunters coming here a few thousand years later. We've got a possible prehistoric site that we're now excavating that may relate to the Iron Age. We've got our medieval hunting lodge that we've excavated over the last 2 years, and now we're retelling the story of Bradgate House and trying to add some evidence to the kind of histories that we have that have been long established but now probably need to be rewritten.